Okay, here we go. I got sent this video by a friend of mine, and I want to let y'all know that I have been just so disgusted in the last few weeks that I just couldn't even make a video. The administration is just getting me down. I feel like I said everything that I could say during the election, and it's just we're just buried in it now. So here we go. Uh, the false teacher Trump's picked to head the White House faith office roils from fellow Christians. Well, I don't know why. Um, they're calling her 100% false teacher. Well, it's religion. Of course, it's false teaching. That's redundant speak. So, Paula White is one of those jumping up and down folks speaking in tongues. And every time I've heard people talk about speaking in tongues, the first phrase that comes up is fake it till you make it. Well, preacher, I just don't know if la, 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 is really speaking in tongues or not. Well, just fake it till you make it. We all do. I I just don't know what is going on. Um, Paula White, a millionaire televangelist who speaks in tongues, was criticized for an alleged cash for blessing scheme. Well, excuse me, every preacher I've ever seen asks for your money. They pass the plate every service. And the ones on TV are top dollar. And I don't mean that to be a pun. That's reality. They're all asking for your money. Why does God need your money? Do you remember Captain Kirk in a movie affectionately called The Search for God? It's Star Trek V movie. Um, he said, "Why does God need a starship?" Excuse me. Why does God need? What does God need with a starship? What does God need with your money? If God is so perfect, what does He need your money for? On the campaign trail, Donald Trump repeatedly promised protect religious liberty, and 2 weeks after his inauguration, he acted creating a White House faith office. Y'all remember this little establishment clause? We should make no law uh, advocating for any religion or against it. This is not exactly a law, but creating an office of faith, that is not the purpose of this government. Which will be led by Paula White, a millionaire televangelist known to speak in tongues, who called the Black Lives Matter movement the Antichrist. So the movement is an Antichrist. I guess just anything can be an Antichrist. I thought the Antichrist was of an individual. Not that it matters. You use logic for this stupid religious crap. And wants to encourage people to buy resurrection seeds for $1,114. The move brought renewed focus on White, Trump's longtime spiritual guru, and for White, not all of it will be welcome. Just embrace your haters, Paula. Try to bring them to Jesus. Why not? In March, she was criticized over an alleged cash for blessings scandal. Like I said, all the preachers doing it. While other right-wing Christians are unhappy with her new government role, with one describing White as 100% a false teacher. Like I said, it's religion. It's all false. White will be a senior advisor to Trump's faith office, which Trump announced along with an executive order, which created a task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias. The Establishment Clause is telling you that we should not favor one religion or another. Trump is speaking of anti-Christian bias. So I guess if he's pro-Christian, then he's throwing the whole government towards being biased towards Christianity. Which, if you ask me, is favoring a particular religion, which the Anti-Establishment Clause says you're not supposed to do. While I'm in the White House, we will protect Christians in our schools, in our military, in our government, in the workplace, hospitals, and our public squares, and will bring our countries back together as one nation under God. I'm in the nation, but I'm not under your God. The liberty and justice for all. Well, you're not bringing liberty and justice for me. There's no God that I'm under. I will answer to no God. I will worship no God. I will advocate for no God to be voted for or laws passed in favor of. The government is supposed to be for the people, by the people, not for God. God doesn't give a damn about you. He only cares about being worshiped, honored, praised, glorified. If you die, it's okay because this is just a place to wipe your feet before you get to heaven. If you go to the other place, so be it. That's God's love. Trump said in a speech announcing the creation of the faith office. The appointment of White suggests some of those methods of protection could be unorthodox. In March, as Easter approached, White was criticized for a video in which she appeared to offer 7 supernatural blessings for the price of $1,000, including the assignation of a personal angel. White, whose preaching has been described as adhering to prosperity gospel, dollars for Jesus, a theology, the belief that praying will result in financial gains, said that the blessings would also include prosperity and increase in inheritance. Sure, if y'all all pray with Paula White and send her your money, she will increase in her inheritance. If y'all believe that. If you believe your money's going to God, it's going to Paula White's pocket. Just like every preacher. All the televangelists. Y'all know the ones I'm talking about. They're all rotten. They're all just, God doesn't need your money. The televangelist does. White denied that people had to pay to receive the blessings, a spokesperson for Paula White Ministry telling the Christian Post. This story is a deceptive smear. Pastor White specifically says in the very same video, "You're not doing this to get something." And the solicitation, which was later in the program, makes it clear that any donation to the ministry should only be as the Holy Spirit leads. Which is funny how the Holy Spirit always agrees with the preacher or the believer. Moreover, donations to the ministry do not directly benefit Pastor White. Do you believe that? She's a millionaire televangelist, and your donations do not directly affect her. Try to figure that one out. Oh, they're going to poor people and God. The last time I was in church, it's almost hard to remember, 36, 7 years ago, they spent $4.1 million to build a new church building. Before they did that, I stood up and said, y'all say it will cost $1 million to put a roof on this building. Or we could build a new building for $4.1 million. The 20-year planning committee. Well, you put the roof on the building and take the $3.1 million and give it to poor people. That's what you should do. You know how much they raised for their charity? Lottie Moon, $5,000. $4.1 million versus $5,000. How much do you think your donation dollars are going to Paula White or Paula White's charity? Oh, I know, they're not all the same. Okay, sure. Still, even some right-wing Christians were unimpressed with White's appointment. John Root, a Turning Point USA contributor and conservative influencer who supports Trump, told Notice, anyone that you know holds true to strong biblical conviction and discernment wouldn't be involved with Paula White. She's a 100% false teacher. I don't know that. I don't know that that's true. I think there's an awful lot of false teaching out there. Like I said, if it's religion, it's false. In any case, the 7 supernatural blessings was not the first time White has introduced finances into faith. This whole article is just... Money and religion is so intertwined. What does this article even mean? It's just a drop in the bucket. It's just another color of poop. 26. Let's see. 26 offered reservations for 1144, claiming in the recorded speech that God had told her the price point. If y'all didn't get that, I'm sorry. I stumbled in my words. The 7 supernatural blessings was not the first time White introduced finance into speech. 2016, she offered resurrection seeds for sale for $11.44, $1,144, claiming in a recorded speech that God told her the price point. Donald Trump is prayed over by Paula White. Oh, God. There's someone that God is speaking to click on that donation button by minimizing the screen. And when you do, to sow $1,144. She said, "It's not often I ask very specifically, but God has instructed me, and I want you to hear. This isn't for everyone, but this is for someone. When you sow that $1,144 based on John 11:44, just pick any Bible verse you want and make it a number and put a dollar in front of it. I believe for resurrection life." Okay. White said people could also pay $144 or $44 if they could not afford God's suggested total. God will take your pennies. The money appeared to grant individuals a metaphorical rather than a physical seed, and the price included a prayer cloth, which White said could bring special miracles. Here's my prayer cloth for y'all. There's my prayer cloth. Praise Jesus. Bless you. Send me $0 and you can be blessed. Price included a prayer cloth, which White said would bring special miracles and recommended it be placed under a loved one's bed. Um, uh, it's unclear how many seeds were sold, but it's known that there have been. I Oh my God, KKK is down there. I don't want to even finish reading this, but the KKK is mentioned down below. How can I stop now? It is unclear how many seeds were sold, but it is known that there have been questions over White's financial maneuvers. CNN reported that White's former church, Without Walls International, received $150 million between 2004 and 2006. And a 3-year investigation by Chuck Grassley, a Republican senator from Iowa, described how the church and White's personal ministry had used tax-exempt funds to pay $1 million in salaries to family members and spent money on a private jet. Surprise, surprise, don't they all have private jets? The investigation closed with. Remember, Oral Roberts said if you donate this amount, God said I need a private jet so that I can tour the nation and bring more people to Jesus. Here's another private jet, y'all, for Jesus. Described how the church and White's personal ministry used tax-exempt funds to pay $1 million in salaries and a private jet. The investigation closed no penalties, although investigators said they were stifled by lifelong confidentiality agreements that had been signed by church employees. Well, just how convenient is that? Other questions about White relate to her beliefs and statements on issues including race and immigration. The Griot reported that White had particular animus for the Black Lives Matter movement and said in a 2020 speech, "Christ's likeness is not found in my gender. It is found in my culture. It is not found in my ethnicity. It is not found in KKK. It is not found in Antifa, and it is not found in Black Lives Matter, all of which are anti-Christ and even terrorist organizations." Well, it's just difficult for me to put the KKK and Black Lives Matter in the same sentence. I didn't understand Black Lives Matter when it started. There's a lot of things that I learned in my conservative upbringing that even after I became an atheist, I didn't understand what my conservative teachings had done to me. Black Lives Matter is in a similar vein, something I didn't understand until I listened to hours of explanation about what Black Lives Matter really means. Some people will say, and I even said, well, all lives matter. But that's the thing you don't understand when you say that, is that every day is white people day. We are the privileged class. I'm ashamed to be in such a privileged class. You wouldn't know it to look at me, but my father's mother was 100% Seminole. So that makes me at least 25. And we're not quite sure who my father's father was. I could even be 50%. But I got the Irish skin and hair from my mother. And so you'd never know that at least 25% of my ethnicity is Seminole. So you can't judge people by the color of their skin. You don't know what their ethnicity is. But when they talk about Black Lives Matter, Black lives, they're talking about marginalized groups. And black people have certainly been marginalized. And until black people are not marginalized, then saying that Black Lives Matter is an important statement. And to put that in the same sentence with KKK is a complete lack of understanding of what people say when they say Black Lives Matter. So much has been said about Antifa. I can't even talk about Antifa. I'm not smart enough to talk about Antifa. But I can definitely talk about the KKK versus Black Lives Matter. And that's just not the sentence that I want to see put together. I don't even know if I can read the rest of this. Trump, whose commitment to true freedom of religion has repeatedly been questioned in January, rescinding guidance that prevented immigration and customs enforcement and Customs and Border Protection from carrying out immigration enforcement in churches. More than 24 Christian groups are suing the government over the policy, but that apparent lack of sympathy appears to match Paula White's views. During Trump's first term, White, then the president's spiritual advisor, raised eyebrows when she said Jesus would have been sinful and not our Messiah if he had broken immigration law. You know, we're just so far from the context of United States immigration law. I don't see how you could even put Jesus in that context. If there was any sort of immigration enforcement in place 2,000 years ago, you're most likely to be beheaded by a Roman sword before you had any chance of being asked for your immigration papers. Go figure. I think so many people will have taken biblical scriptures out of context on the. We're talking about context now. Well, Jesus was a refugee. What? What? In what context? White told the Christian Broadcasting Network. CBN, by the way, the same network Pat Robertson, R.I.P. And yes, he did live in Egypt for 3.5 years. I doubt it, but it was not illegal. If he had broke the law, then he would have been sinful and would not have been on my side. Just make up anything you want. From questionable financial accounting to strident views on protesting against the killings of young black men to a disdain for immigrants, it seems White could be a perfect match for Trump. Well, why don't y'all just get married then? Get a room. Ugh. Oh, pray for the orange man. Mm-hmm. Love you. Bye.